The garden could use a little help. This all has to be mowed down, and I have to go through and prune everything, basically. Oh, look. A little ladybug. So this bed, that's carrots, and you see calendula all through here, sunflowers, chives, there's mallow, there's bindweed. Unfortunately, that seems to be everywhere. This is some mugwort that's growing, which is this big plant here, and it's growing right there too. Oh, and some lamb's quarters. This area is where I planted some peppers, and they are not doing well. None of my peppers have grown, whereas all of my tomato plants are doing fairly well. They're a little short, but I have a weird garden. The way that the sun hits it, this area gets a lot of shade during one part of the season, and then I also planted over there, but that area also gets a lot of shade during a certain part of the season. So the tomato plants will take off at different parts of the summer, and trust me, they're doing really well. And I come out here and I fiddle with them because they're blooming, and I could cut those off so that they grow taller, but honestly I'd rather tomatoes sooner rather than later. This is mustard, and it has been doing its best to thrive for a while now. It's starting to put out seed shoots, so that's pretty neat, because this is self-seeded from last year. I didn't plant that this year. That's leftover. There was more, but this whole area is growing with grass too, and I didn't have time to get all of that out to make more room for the mustard, so it is what it is. And all the corn that I planted here did not grow. I wonder why. It's a mystery. You can see I have one stalk of corn that survived. And to be fair, I didn't plant them well. I did the laziest job I've ever done. So again, I'm so shocked that nothing grew. Carrots. These are leeks. And so the scapes are just starting to bloom. I wanted to just leave those. And that's a pumpkin. I planted a couple of different pumpkins in here. That's the only one that has survived. And I mean, it is hanging on by a literal thread. So that's surprising and shocking. Next year, this will be corn again when I have the chickens properly housed off. They like to hide behind my horseradish right now, and this whole area needs weeded and tended to so bad. There's supposed to be a pathway here to the compost, but oh well. And my raspberries, okay, actually I don't know if these are raspberries. I think they are. I think they're the pink lemonade varietal, and they're starting to really turn. It's been a slow process, but this is the second year. So the first year they don't make any berries. It's the second year shoots that do. And so there's some new growth too that'll produce next year. This is my first time, I planted that. That's my first time planting and growing berries. I've lived somewhere before where there was already an established raspberry patch. But this has been an interesting experience. And going back to this first bed real quick, I'll say too, this is asparagus, and I love the way that it looks, so I always let a couple of the shoots grow. I just like it. I didn't plant anything through here, so that is all a sunflower patch left over, and I started to plant tomatoes again, and again, my pepper plants just not thriving. I have only had peppers thrive once in this garden, and it was where I put my duck pond. Then again, all of this is calendula. So I got a bit from a friend's garden once, and they said it was really prolific. They weren't kidding. It's medicinal. I could collect the flowers and everything. Right now, I've just been letting it go to seed and reseed where it is. I love my clover patch. I should have planted things in here, but I didn't. This is pig's weed, which is like a red amaranth, and more lamb's quarters, which is a noxious weed. This has fallen over. How lovely. And just totally messed up my black-eyed Susans. But those are pretty hardy, so they'll come back. I have some growing in the first patch as well. And some tomatoes over here as well. You can see that this tomato has been like pushed over by my ducks, and so it's doing its best. There was some flowers growing on this squash plant. It's squash or zucchini, and I'm pretty sure that the chickens have eaten it because I'm not doing the best job at keeping them out of the garden this year. You can see there's squash flower in there. There's another plant here. And, you know, I'll get the chickens sequestered and caged in at some point, so next year's garden won't be as damaged by them. But for now, they're just having the time of their life. And they have been phenomenal for my compost. This is like beautiful dirt when you get down just a little bit, which is so nice. And it's really all I can think to share. She's definitely laying on eggs. I didn't know she was there, but she just, alerted me to how angry she is with me. Don't know where this came from. She's definitely like, don't touch me. I'm on my eggs, which I haven't collected in a few days, so she's got a whole clutch in there. This sage plant is surviving, even though it's being overtaken. I love the blossoms on it. First little sunflowers. And I'm too early for the bees. I'm about an hour early for when they'll start to come out. I can't wait for everything to be more in bloom. It's gonna be so pretty.